Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening and welcome. Good evening, good evening. If you're watching us on LinkedIn, if you're watching us on YouTube, this is Impact Conversations, and my name remains Adeola Babatunde. Yes, I know you may be hearing that, squeaky croak in my voice. We have days like this. There are days when your voice doesn't agree with what you want to do, but we go ahead. We do it either way. And I have with me on the Impact Conversations this evening a very special guest. This is not her first time. However, she is still a very special guest, and she's here today to have a conversation with us. And you'll hear about it in a minute. And so, for everyone who is joining us, I want you to pay close attention because we're going to be discussing human resources and a very crucial topic to us in human resources. It's a very important conversation around people analytics, right? We're going to be looking at using people analytics to predict employee engagement trends. Yes, that's the topic, using people analytics to predict employee engagement trends. I know it sounds like a mouthful, but our guest here is going to do justice to this topic today. She's a HR, she's a human resource and business leader. She's a business strategy leader and human resource leader. And today she's going to be walking us through this topic and breaking it down for us. And so before I invite her, I'll quickly like to read her short bio. I would like to read her short bio. She's passionate. Her name is Folashayo, and she's very passionate about people and professionals. She believes in growth, purpose, and doing things the right way. She holds a bachelor's degree in human resources management, business administration, apologies, with human resources management option from Bells University of Technology, and a Master of Science in International Relations and Personnel Management from the University of Lagos. She's an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria and internationally certified senior professional in human resources, SHRI, with the Human Resource Certification Institute, HRCI. Now, she's known for her relatable and practical examples. Folashayo engages audiences with clarity, warmth, and depth. Beyond her professional life, she values faith, continuous learning, and meaningful conversations, and is driven by a desire to serve, inspire, and leave every space better than she met it. One thing I love about Folashayo, one of our guests for tonight, is her humorous side. She does have a humorous side that shows up on WhatsApp status from time to time when I go there. So, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome with me Folashayo Fatumbi on the call today? Good evening, Folashayo.
Good evening, Adiola. Thank you for having me once again. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much for coming. So, Folashayo, I'm going to give you the floor in about a minute to just talk to us about your what you had in mind when you wanted to talk to us about people analytics. Or would you want me to lead with questions, or would you want to talk about what you had in mind when you started, when you thought about this topic? What would you like?
Okay, so I would just briefly state what I had in mind, and then I would
Okay,
also like you to lead with questions. Okay,
excellent.
so when I got this topic, what came to my thoughts was actually how HR has evolved over the years. Um, Before, people used to think that HR is actually just a business function, but over the years, we've seen HR now evolve into like a strategic business area in the organization. So that's going to be like the summary of everything I will be talking about today.
Okay,
The how HR has evolved from just being uh, a function or a department to being a strategic area in business. Thank you.
thank you so much. So your focus is on how HR is being a strategic partner in business, right? As opposed to what we all know HR for, which is hiring and firing. The one of the
Exactly.
most, yes, hiring and firing. Okay, so let me ask you, why has people analytics become such an important topic for HR and business leaders? I'm very curious. Why is it such an important topic now?
Okay, so people analytics is the practice of using employee data and statistical analysis to improve employee related issues and also improve the overall organizational performance. So people analytics has become a critical aspect of the business today because it has helped in determining the level of workforce productivity in relation to uh, business growth and success.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I was taking notes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I was taking notes. So now you're saying, from what I heard you say, I wrote down people analytics is taking employee data to improve employee related issues, right? Right. So
Yes.
my question is, how exactly does that work? What kind of issues are we talking about? And can you give us examples? Because from my knowledge of human resources, I'm just thinking, people want to go and leave, right?
Mm.
They want to go and leave, and some have leave days, some don't. Some want more. Where does people analytics come in here, or what process exactly does it help with, or what
Okay.
issue exactly does it help with?
Okay, so and we just start with the kind of data, employee data that is used in people analytics, and this include attendance and time,
Okay.
headcount and demographics of the workforce, engagement survey, and performance ratings. And there's so many other employee related data that we can use for people analytics. But just to explain the kind of the business issues or employee related issues that that people analytics help in resolving. We have challenges such as turnover rate, absenteeism rate, um, low productivity, low engagement rate. So these are business issues that some of this data that I've earlier mentioned could actually be used to predict, to determine what the problem is, and to also recommend interventions or mitigating plans in resolving those issues.
Thank you so much. So I have a question for you, and it's around employee engagement.
Okay.
Now, we are discussing all of this. Okay. I think I was out for a bit. I'm back now. Thank you. All right.
You're
Sorry
okay.
about that. So I want to ask you an intellectually honest question. Can anything really be done to improve employee engagement?
Yes.
Like, and let me pour my heart out to you on this conversation. I feel like if I like my work and it's challenging me enough, I don't need to be motivated. Well, if you want to motivate me, you give me more salary, right? I think that's it. But I feel I that's what I feel, and I feel like if somebody is adequately challenged, they will not need to be motivated or further engaged. But what are your thoughts around this? Is this different from my understanding, or is this just my personal perspective because of my work ethic?
Okay. So I think that your perspective is part of the assumptions that
Mm.
business leaders have about engagement.
Mm. Mm.
Yes.
Tell me. I
So
love it.
most times business leaders think that the main motivating factor or the main underlying factor for improving employee engagement is actually increasing pay or a competitive pay strategy, and that is not true, because sometimes we have employees that are actually well paid, right? They are a bit committed, but they are not properly engaged.
Okay.
So there are some
Okay.
factors that could actually affect engagement.
Okay.
Because of people analytics, we've been able to detect these factors. Now, employee engagement is moving from assumptions to data-driven decisions, data-driven realities. So we have factors such as uh, management, line managers, um, low performance scores. So usually when we have this employment and employee engagement surveys, we do, like, part of the questions or the metrics is to understand how the line manager has been able to impact the team members. What's the level of mentorship, coaching? What's the leadership approach? What impact does the line manager's leadership style has to do with such employees' performance and overall engagement in the organization? So, pretty much, engagement has moved from the assumption that once I'm well paid, or I committed, or I'm self-motivated, I do not need any other factor to stay engaged.
So, Falashaya, I'm gonna put you on hot seat because I like this topic. I really do, and I really want people to get value. Would you really like? Would you really be able? How are you able to tell if someone is no longer engaged? How are you able to tell that this person is about to leave our organization?
Okay, so I'm going to give an illustration of my experience in my previous workplace.
Okay.
So it's was a factory setting, manufacturing company, where we have machine operators, production operators, and the work environment was quite hectic. And so, because of the provision in the labor law, I mean, the labor law does not really state that the maximum number of hours that people can work in a week is 40 hours. The labor law actually states that the maximum number of hours an employee can work is 48 hours. So the company, you know, kind of took this advantage, and they prolonged the work hours for the employee. The first thing we started noticing was that the absenteeism rate increased.
Okay.
In fact, some people just started falling sick, and then we were getting quite a number of sick leave requests. We're also getting leave requests, and then some people were just even absent from work without permission. So we had to go back and try to understand what was happening, and then we conducted a survey, and it was from this survey that we got to know that the employees were actually burnt out. So they were burnt out, and they mentioned the real cause, the root cause of this burnout, which was the long hours of work. So at first, the management was thinking that maybe we need to increase the salaries, the daily rates, because they were being
Daily.
paid daily. They were thinking that maybe we needed to just increase but we had to come in. The HR department had to make them understand that for us to make um, objective decision, objective and accurate decision, we need a data driven, we need to take a data driven approach. Can you hear me? Okay, you're back.
Sorry for the impact. Sorry about that. I'm with you.
All
Yeah.
right, that's fine. So we had to tell the management that we need to adopt a data-driven approach rather than just make an assumption from the surface. And then we did the survey, we analyzed the result of the survey, and then we had to reduce the work hours, issued a new contract to them. And since then, we barely had this increase in absenteeism
Absenteeism.
rates since till I left the organization.
Excellent, excellent. So I love that. So I heard there was absenteeism, get people going off without permission. There was sick leave requests. There was a leave request, and then you conducted a survey to then discover that people were burnt out. Right now, so my question is, HR was there, and HR knew that these work terms were not quite, you know, good enough. But wasn't isn't that supposed to be the place of HR to push, you know, before it then begins to show?
Okay, so the HR department, I was in the department. We actually took a proactive approach or a predictive approach, looking at the trends of these attendance rates over the quarter, and we had recommended this. But sometimes we are just put in
Yeah,
that spot.
yeah,
So until we decided seeing the decline in productivity and
yeah.
the attendance rates, and we had to conduct a survey which was more data, which was another set of data, because we had the attendance report that was actually showing the data of the employees that were coming to work, but it seemed that was not sufficient enough to justify why we wanted to reduce, the work hours. So, but with the survey, we were able to recommend and get the adequate approval.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much. So you took a proactive approach by suggesting, you probably just didn't get executed at that time, but you did take a proactive approach after seeing the data and the trends and saying
Mm.
this is what may likely happen in a few months. Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. Now I have a question for you. And you just shared a practical example about the place that you work. So how have you seen situations where data, and what you just shared really, what just happened now is where data challenged an assumption I had.
Mm.
My assumption was I'm engaged, I
Mm.
love the work I do. I mean, I love the work I do. I'm constantly challenged, meaning that
Mm.
the work is not just boring. Every day there is a new thing to address.
Mhm.
And if you give me more money, I'm fine. And that's what, and you said that's what a lot of business leaders think. They think
Mhm.
give them the work, just give them a little bit of money, and they'll be fine. Now, from your work and what you've seen over the years, apart from increasing people's salaries, apart from giving them work hours that are, let me use the word in quote, that are fair and lenient, what are the other things that you've seen that employees actually want
Mhm.
that makes them stay? Right? I'm
Okay.
sure everyone listening to this conversation right now would love to know, any business leader who cares about their work, they want to know what are those things that employees want that actually helps them stay, apart from obviously money and maybe fair work hours.
Okay. The first thing I believe employees want, based on my experience, is that employees want to trust. They want leaders that they can trust.
Okay.
They want leaders that they can trust, and this trust can actually come from what we call this continuous listening. continuous listening, and consistent communication. When I say continuous listening, it's about actually paying attention to the outcome, the outcome of all the surveys. Like when we have pulse check, for instance, or engagement survey, employee leaders are expected to actually pay attention to this outcome and also communicate the feedback to those employees, and
Right.
also, inform them about the action plans. Through this, they will believe that, they have management that listen to them. They will feel heard, they will feel valued, they will feel included in the organization. That's the first thing. The second thing will be employee recognition and reward.
Okay.
So most times people do not when people do not feel valued, because they feel like they are not seeing their efforts are not being recognized or rewarded, they can feel a bit down. And even while they're performing well, there is this psychological effect on their internal, or their psychological feeling about, their commitment on that job.
Wow. Flashayo, you just unlocked something for me. This employee recognition and reward. You just unlocked something for me. You know how you see organizations, bigger organizations do this, but you may not see growing organizations really focus on it because they're mostly focused on let's get the money, let's hit
Mm.
the targets, what's not working, what's working. So you just unlocked something for me now. Thank you so much. And it doesn't have to be, I remember when where I worked the first time, December, we used to give out a car, a brand new car,
Oh,
to the best employee of the year. One of the people who won that award is still my friend today. And we all wanted to win the car. So, what my company would do, they will buy the car, park the car in the parking lot, tie a ribbon, a red ribbon on the car. So, every day when we're coming to work, we are seeing the car and we're like, oh my God, that car can be mine. Do you see? That car can be mine. And so, when we don't do the December party, where we have the employees, Christmas party,
I see.
then would announce the employee of the year, and that's the person that would get the car. Other consolation prizes were things like trips to Dubai, you get a freezer, you get
Wow.
washing machine, very interesting things. So you really would want to be the employee of the year, and it's really interesting. And we'll just, we'll just have conversations about it, we'll talk, we'll joke, we'll say something like, I'm gonna be the employee of the year. Lie, you cannot take it from me. I just we're talking. So I really do understand this employee recognition and reward. Thank you so much. Yes, please. Let me not stop you. You said employees want leaders they can trust, and this trust means continuous communication.
Mm.
Employee recognition and reward. Please continue. I'm taking
Okay.
notes.
Okay. We also mentioned manager to manager employee relationship. Before, people used to think that employees leave the organization because of pay, but now everybody is aware that people do not actually leave organization because of pay. They most times leave because of their managers. So the managers, or the reporting lines, actually have a lot of impact to make on how the employee is actually engaged on their jobs. So the kind of relationship, the feedback mechanism, the continuous performance review system, we make such employee to understand that he or she is actually being seen in the organization.
Okay. Yes, that's the third one. Please go on. Go on. You have like 10.
Okay. Well, another one would be development opportunities in the organization. Um, as little as a training or an orientation program can be, there is an impact it has in employee psychology. It just simply means that, oh, this organization cares, this organization is interested in my growth, in my success on the job, and also even in developing me to take up higher responsibility in the organization. So it also has an impact on how committed or motivated these employees will be on the job.
Excellent. I will let you stop here. You've really, really tried. You've given me four gold nuggets. You're saying employees want leaders they can trust, employee recognition, manager to employee relationship. I'm going to do a bit of a deep dive in there. So when we talk about manager to employee relationship, um, where do you draw the line, right? Where do you draw the line between I want to be my subordinate's friend, or I want to have a healthy relationship with them, and I want to, stay professional. What do you say to that? How can a manager do that?
Okay, the first thing is to understand from the manager's perspective. The first thing is to understand the kind of team members, the nature or the personalities of the team members.
Okay.
Just try, the manager has to understand, like, feel the pulse of the team members before he can now decide on the approach. There are some employees that do not need any form of familiarity or any form of, so much cordial relationship outside the professional relationship. Once you're able to identify that kind of person, it's advised that, you just keep things professional. This doesn't mean that you're being mean, or you violate the policies, or you create a hostile work environment, but it's just about understanding the personality. So that's actually key in um, um, choosing the kind of approach the manager wants to adopt in managing the team members. And then from the employees, the team members also need to understand, their line managers. I've worked with a lot of line managers, and I can tell you that not everyone is the same.
Sorry, I got locked out for a bit there,
Okay,
but I'm
so I
back.
said that you're welcome. I said that I've worked with a lot of managers, and I can tell you, not two of them were ever the same. I've worked with an employee with a line manager who was jovial, and we kept, we know where to draw the line. We were professionals, and we were still friends. I've worked with someone who just wanted it strictly professional. We kept it there. We were good, and we are still good till today. I've worked with someone that, I would say is like a bit hostile, but I just kept being professional and didn't even look at the other side. So people are very different. That's the beauty of life. People are different. You just need to understand what kind of person you're dealing with, either as a team member or the manager. Sometimes you can just be lucky, and the kind of team members you have also align with your kind of vibes. Let me put it that way. So
I
everyone
was just
just
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that. That what if you, as the manager, you're just an open person. You're just very, just very jovial, happy-go-lucky. Issues, and then you're trying to interact with people that way, and you're getting that they don't know where to draw the line. They don't know once you start being jovial with them, they start being disrespectful, right? And so you now say, "Oh my God, I don't want to be very stern with this person. I really just want to be jovial." But it feels like they don't know where to draw the line. So when you just said it, I was like, it's true. It's not even about you. What I'm hearing you say is you have your style, but look at the people you're working with, understand what they need, and say, this person will function better if I interact. This person will function better if I give them a professional, part, if I show them a professional face. And so if you understand what they need, you meet them at the very point of their needs. That's what I'm hearing you say.
Yes, so I just want to add one more thing. I think that the best approach will be to actually have a mix of, you know, being cordial and also professional.
Okay.
Except if the other party, either the manager or the team member, are not willing to, to be cordial, then you can just keep it the way they want. But over the years, I've actually, found out that when you have a mix of this, it creates this open door a kind of environment where your team member will be, willing to share things, maybe personal things, not necessarily personal, but things that could be challenging to them on the job. They'll be able to open up. You can get like honest feedbacks, even about yourself or about anything from them, if you create this kind of environment.
Open
But
policy.
if it's strictly professional, you might not really be able to get certain information, which will also help you to
Yeah.
improve yourself and the
Yeah.
team at large.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's very valuable. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Flasha, we're gradually rounding down or rounding up. And so I have some, final thought questions for you.
Mm.
So, what is one thing you think every leader should know about employee engagement today? What is one thing you think, they should know this?
Okay, so one thing is that leaders should not be reactive. They should rather take advantage of people analytics to to predict the future using the trends over time to predict what could actually happen, and also once they are able to determine what's happening, they'll be able to also recommend the mitigating plans for all these issues. So leaders need to be proactive rather than reactive.
I love it.
Another
Should
thing will be that leaders should stop using historical data. They should rather concentrate on trends. Trends are quite consistent. They are quite recent. They should concentrate on those trends rather than historical data.
okay. Okay, I wish you could dive deeper into that, but our time is fast spent. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so the final question I have for you, if you could leave one message, one key message about people, workplace success, and all that good stuff, what is that key message that you will
Mm.
leave for our audience today?
Well, I know we've been talking about people analytics, been talking about employee related data, but I would like to state that data alone does not create workplace success. It doesn't, success um, comes from turning this insight into actions. So it's not enough that we've gotten data from maybe through the people analytics insight. We need to turn this insight into actions. So that's one thing. And organization will thrive in the future if they can combine, those data, and then the insight into actions, and you know um make use of whatever information or data they get from that to improve or to mitigate any of the business issues.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So, data alone does not create success. Turn the data into actions that will move the organization forward. Thank you so much. Like my AI teacher would say, thank you. She has a way of saying thank you, but thank you so much. This was so insightful. I actually got something I needed from this conversation. It was impactful for me, and I know it was impactful for all those that are watching us on YouTube and on LinkedIn. Thank you so much to everyone who is watching us on YouTube and LinkedIn. Please say thank you to Folashayo for coming on this Impact Conversation show and just sharing her knowledge with her, with us. You saw that I was dragging a lot from her. At least I have 4 points under what employees want now. Right? And I have a lot more about managers. So thank you so much for Lashayo. It's always a pleasure to have you on the Impact Conversations. I look forward to having you on CNN. Don't we'll have like an interview on CNN, right? And BBC. Don't worry, we'll do it. They'll call us. They'll call us. They'll call us. Okay. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And to all our viewers, thank you so much for watching. Felicia, do you have any final words for our audience?
Okay, to my fellow HR professionals, I want them to evolve from just being a business function to being a strategic business leader. HR has, the contemporary issues now in HR has actually moved from doing administrative works, just administrative works, but now we use meaningful data to make business impact. So I want to encourage them, and to employers, please listen to your HRs and try and implement their recommendations. To
That
all
last part.
employees,
Yeah, that last part is very necessary. Listen to your HRs.
and to employees, or self-employed people,
Yeah.
please just try as much as possible to understand the business. It is important to also be business oriented. When you are business oriented, you will understand the impact of your performance or your attitude on the job. You understand that whatever you do, no matter how little it is going to like make a long-term impact in the organization. Thank you.
Oh, Falashayo, can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can see you and hear you now.
Falashayo,
Yes, I can see you and hear you.
Falashayo.
I can see you and hear you. I can see you and hear you. Can you see me now? But I can't hear you. I can see you, but I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you, but I can see you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. But can you hear me? Okay.